So there it is, idling. Has about 5 hours on it. I need to change the oil. Does the job. So here it is, the new one. That's a Honda one-cylinder GX 390. What does that say up there? GX 390. Yeah. Anyway, one pull start. It has an electric start, but the battery came to me discharged, and I haven't had a chance to charge it up. So, but does a good job, as you would expect. Having reverse is handy, I gotta say. The other one is lighter and smaller, so it's more like a lawnmower, but more easily overwhelmed by this reed canary grass here. You know, this stuff. I mean, it just gets woody and thick. Ay, ay, ay. So, yeah, but anyway, I got it. So, there it is. So out at Big Valley, watching the sun go down over the hill, it's this orange orb in this kind of gray sky. So we're getting a lot of wildfire smoke now too. A little traffic on Big Valley Road there. Smoking some Star of the East Cornell and Deal in a Brian Doran from 2020. This is a nice pipe. Sort of custom built-ish. Yeah. Very nice, very nice. So I bought a pizza out here and had a slice. I like just coming out and just watching evening fall, you know. Very relaxing to me. So I was here yesterday, I'm a little sore. It's like this shoulder right in here for some reason is like, ah. So I did get a new brush mower. I will fix the old one. But I think I'll do it with a friend of mine who's kind of into the small engine thing. So it did a good job. Of course, I kind of overdid it, so I'm paying the price today. I'm moving a little slow today. Plus, I went over to Seattle to see my 93-year-old friend, and his 80-year-old caretaker, power of attorney, was there. She's a delight, and his caretakers are too. So that was fun. We had a good time. But boy, it's sure, you know, at 93, there's just, especially when you're sitting most of the time, there's just this gradual decay and decline. And boy, you can see it with him. So, yeah. Unfortunately, his constitution, he smoked for years, he was overweight, but he has great genes apparently. So his blood pressure's great, and he's on a whole bunch of meds. But he's doing well, other than not getting enough exercise and not getting enough mental exercise. So he was always a real sharp guy, and yeah, that's kind of in decline too. So I guess my point is, if you want to do something, do it. You know, he was a guy who took lots of pictures during the film era, and it was just snapshots. You know, he traveled quite a bit with his friends and went to Europe, Australia, started a motorcycle club. You know, he unintentionally documented a lot of it. And so every time I'm over there, there's like new pictures. It's like, where'd these come from? Well, Nola found them in the closet, you know, and it's like, okay, well, they're great, you know. So really a lot of fun. So the motorcycle club he started is now 50 years old. So that tells you something about the time frames here. But yes, do what you want while you can. Not silly consumerist stuff. And that brush mower might possibly fall into that category, but it's like I'm going to get some use out of it out here until I can't. And then I'll sell it. I mean, it'll have more retained value than the old one. And I think I'll sell the old one too. I was going through my shed. There's so much cleaning and sorting and getting rid of crap that I need to do. And while the weather's nice is when I should be doing it. So I may be taking some vacation days here during the week and doing that kind of stuff. Because you just have to take it all out of there and just lay it out on the yard and say, what is this? God, I haven't seen this in years, for good reason. So I was very fond of it once, like I opened a tote and there's a Marantz Model 16 tube amplifier and a Advent stereo receiver and stuff. I was kind of into hi-fi for a while, and it's like, I'm not anymore. Let's get rid of this, Give it to somebody who will have fun with it and who will like it. Now, we could say that about the pipes too, but we aren't, because I'm not ready to do that yet. So some of the fire guys came out and set up some targets that I mowed up to and kind of cleaned up a little bit, and it was getting pretty overgrown. But we're in a phase 2 burn ban, so there's no shooting because it generates sparks potentially. So we'll have to wait for fall. And the creek, Dogfish Creek, is really low. So before the salmon start running, it'll have to rain. When they do, it's amazing. These huge salmon come up this tiny little creek to spawn, and there's a trib over in the woods, in the deep dark woods, over on the property that is even more amazing because it's even smaller. And it runs super clear because it's spring fed, not even a half mile up. So it's just this cold, crisp, clear water, and these huge fish are like swimming upstream. It's amazing. And the bears are in there waiting for those salmon. So I checked the SD card on the game cam at the gate and caught a bobcat, a raccoon, and a deer that was just kind of pawing around out there. But no bears, no cougars. Usually there are lots of coyotes, so I didn't capture them this time. So I replaced the SD card. We'll see what we get. That's always fun. I should get another one of those. In fact, I should get another couple of them and place them around so that the chances of catching some wildlife are greater. Because it's just fun to see what's out here. Star of the East is pretty good. So my very rustic little cabin that I live in, 525 square feet, has a shallow well. And this summer, sure enough, boy, the water's getting skunky. So I talked to the neighbors, and they're fine with me hooking up a hose. What I normally do is I'll hook up a hose, and I don't use very much water, just because I don't. And then I pay their water bill, so for the time I use it. So that seems pretty fair. But I'm going to have to do that, I think. And it's barely August. So we could have this dry spell go into September, and we will, undoubtedly. I mean, sometimes it goes into even early October. So we'll see. I hear a Flight for Life helicopter. You know, the amazing thing about this property is it feels very remote. And yet it's just about in the burbs. So, yeah, all the urban intrusions, like the helicopter flying overhead. Although that could happen anywhere again. This is fun, just hanging out, watching, waiting to see a bear or something. I'm hoping. There was a little scat out here, but it was kind of too small for a bear. But it was cherries, I believe, filled with cherry pits. So, and then there's the usual coyote poop that looks like dog poop, but it has a bunch of hair in it usually. Fur, I guess you'd say, more precisely. I'm just going to hang out and wait till twilight falls. Occasionally then an owl will, at twilight, circle the meadow. And I did kick up some voles. Little voles. They're about the size of a rat, but they have a short tail, as I was mowing. So, never see rabbits out here, though. Strange. I would have thought this would be rabbit.